Alright everyone, and welcome to Space Engineers. I've wanted to make this video for a long time, and I was in fact so eager to make this video that I recorded the entirety of everything I wanted to say, and then shortly afterwards realised that the microphone mute was on, which was fantastic. So here we are, we're on my shipyards map, where you can see in front of us we've got the Hiira Class, which is the first ship I've ever made in Space Engineers. And behind it you can see ones that I am still working on. One that is almost complete and one that is nowhere near complete. And unfortunately I'm going to manoeuvre carefully because the frame rate is very low. With the ships in the background, they have a lot of blocks in them, whereas this one is fairly block safe. So it's not the best looking ship. Yeah, it's really not. But the idea of it was designed to be a kind of first ship. What I mean by that is, normally in Space Engineers when you're starting doing survival, you've got some resources on an asteroid, and that's what you use to start off, and you then turn that into a base. The idea of this ship is that you have all the same stuff, but it's in a ship, which, you know, it seems a little bit more natural arriving on an asteroid and having a ship with you than it is to, or just suddenly arriving on an asteroid to find that you've got the foundations of a space station, basically. So I tried to build this ship. It is using entirely vanilla content, no mods, whereas the ship's in the background with a terrible frame rate. They are using mods. And it was designed to be basically just as compact and small as it can be, and of course, you know, it turns out to be a quite large ship, and we'll find out why. So there we go. This is the kind of pedestrian landing pad with the entrance. So this is basically the airlock system, where there is they're basically just doors. All right, there is no Space Engineers default block for airlocks, so you can just come and go as you will. I mean, there is no air technically, seeing as we are all in, you know, spacesuits. So yeah, so here's the entryway. I'll turn to the left and I will show you. These are the airlock controls. You can use them to open and shut the doors. Ideally, these blocks you wouldn't be able to press the button to open them. They would be controlled by someone inside, and that's something I've actually implemented, and you will see in later videos on different ships using mods. So here we go, this is the main bridge. Now, when I made this ship, it wasn't possible to control the turrets using these stations, which is actually what the stations were designed for. There are 3 turrets on the ship, 2 missile ones on the top, and another missile one at the bottom of the ship. You can now, however, so I'm not going to do it on this video, but you could set it up so that in a multiplayer match you've got your pilot, your navigator, probably not needed, and you've got people to man all the necessary turrets. And for someone to lord it over everyone, here is the captain's chair. Yay! So that's the bridge. And come through this passageway here, and you've got the forward maintenance block, I guess. So this is the forward gravity generator, which I can turn off at my peril. There we go. Your jetpack comes on and no gravity. So I'll turn that off. And this is a spare nuclear reactor. The idea of this is someone can run and put some uranium in here if the nuclear reactor at the end of the ship in engineering happens to get blown up. So I'll take you through it. So this is the upper corridor. There are 2 long corridors on the ship. This one is the shorter of them, and I did want this to be a very official, very open, pretty much straight corridor, but the turret, which is up here, was kind of an afterthought, especially when I realised that it was better to kind of have it hooked up to conveyor system. So hence why you have this mess. You've got these special floorboards here which actually hide the piping under there. But yeah, it's a first ship, it's not too horrendous, I guess. So we'll come downstairs, and this is the upper lobby for the hospital, I guess. So this is the medical rooms, and I should say that with the inclusion of mods, that ship there, it has bedrooms, it has bathrooms, it has showers, because they've all been modded in. This, again, it was vanilla, so it's designed to have only what you need in Space Engineers, which is a medical room, where you can recharge your health and change your colour. So as long as this room stays safe, you can always respawn on board the ship. So this, I've showed you the lobby. Go downstairs. This is the battery room. You can see with danger battery. The idea of this, again, is another safety measure that if engineering at the end of the ship happens to be damaged or destroyed, battery can provide power to the ship until you can either get it repaired or make alternate arrangements. So you can go through one of these kind of maintenance corridors, or passageways as they're actually called, and you're in the forward cargo hold, which is the biggest storage area on board the ship at the moment. One thing I will say about this, this is actually a mod. The normal batteries are actually just a plain colour. I had to load this map in my shipyards map because I actually built it in a different map originally, but that map, the original ship is now sticking into an asteroid, and the person who did that knows who they are. Anyway, moving swiftly on. Come to here, this is battery control. There's 6 batteries, there's only 4 buttons, which is a bit annoying, but, well, hey oh, never mind. So we'll come through this little room. This is the passenger lounge, basically, because you go through here, and you got the hangar. And the hangar is basically a U-shaped object that surrounds the ship. There we go. So you can fly out of both doors. And this here is Little Worker B, which is a ship I made, and it's a very basic ship. It's designed to accompany you to asteroids, and you have to get out, you have to do the mining yourself, put it in the back, and fly your way home. And so it basically has those 2 functionalities. You can get bigger ships that have, you know, the digging things on them, but I decided not to make one because, you know, I wanted something that you could realistically take into survival, and you have to work for your station, as opposed to it being overkill and there's no point in you building a station. So what do I want to do now? Okay, go upstairs, I'll show you the flight deck. No, that was the flight deck, this is the flight control room. So, this is where you can work the doors. And I spent ages doing this. You can see the doors opening and then that one closing. The ship was actually built around the hangar. It started as an attempt to understand pistons and how they worked, and without blowing up the ship, which it did every time. And once I got that door working in particular, put that door in and basically built this hangar area, and then extended the ship forward to get the forward section of the ship and then the aft section behind it. At the time of writing, they just introduced drone control, so these stations you could sit down there, hook up a drone. This, for example, is a drone. I won't show you how it works because this isn't what it's for. But it has an antenna on it and it has remote control, so I could sit down here, hook it up to be controlled, and I could fly that out, fly it to a destination. If it was a fighter ship, I could do bombing runs, whatever, so long as... sorry, and I would just be sitting here in the comfort of my own ship. So what I will do, I will go downstairs, and then downstairs again. So this is Scotland Road. This is kind of, it's named after the road on the Titanic. On the bottommost passenger deck of the Titanic there was a corridor that ran pretty much the entire length of the ship, and it was the longest corridor on the ship by far. So this being my longest corridor on the bottom decks, Scotland Road. As you can see, it's quite busy. You've got all the conveyor plumbing. This is the cargo hold that you can see above me. There's some spare cargo slots here, and if we go all the way back, that takes you up to refineries, which I'll show you in a minute. Spare cargo again. That's the bottom turret, and this is back spare cargo as well. So we can take the staircase. So we will come to here, and this is the assemblies. So the way things work in Space Engineers, you put your ores into refineries to get ingots, you put your ingots into assemblers to get components, and then you use the components to build the blocks. At the time I built the ship, I wasn't too sure how the conveyor system worked. So what I did was I built everything in duplicate. I built one that is connected to the conveyor system, and one that isn't, the idea being that if the conveyor system ever broke, you had a backup to fall back on. Doesn't really work because you can, so long as it's still powered, you can still put things in here, which I didn't really realise at the time. But so you can see everything in duplicate. This is the one that is connected to the plumbing, and this is the one that's not. So this is assemblers, which is for turning ingots into components, and the blast furnace is a specialised. It's a specialised furnace that just. My phone's going off. It's a specialised furnace that basically just smelts iron ore, and it's a lot more compact than the big refinery, which I will show you here. So yeah, this is a big demon, and again you've got one that's obviously connected up to the plumbing, and you've got the one that you can just go down, follow some nice stairs, and do yourself. So we'll come back here. This is main engineering. What you got? We guided tour. You've got the gravity generators left and right, and the controls for them. You've got the main reactor, which is huge, and that's a control to turn that off, which I won't do because everything will cry. And all around us are gyroscopes. Now, gyroscopes are, in theory, the only thing you need in Space Engineers physics to be able to turn a ship. But when you have large engines, and the large engines are basically just behind here, if you have thrust-enabled damage, a ship can quite literally tear itself apart. So it's good to have lots of gyroscopes basically to keep everything nice and steady and allow you to turn, which is always important, especially if you're doing combat maneuvers or yada yada yada. So this is the aft staircase. We can go upstairs. So we're on the other end of the road here. We can go through to the engineer's lobby, just chairs. And the idea of this little part here, and this can be better done with some of the mods, and one of the things I do want to do with this ship is go back and basically refit it with mods. I think that would be quite a fun thing to do, and I'll probably do that at some point in the near future. But this is designed to be a kind of, oh, it's just plumbing, no one will go down here. But what it actually is for people whose ship this is, and you've got people, say you're fighting in a multiplayer match with people who don't normally use this ship. This is designed to be the inconspicuous entrance, and it is the rear, sorry, it's the emergency entrance to the engineering. This little passage, and you can just drop down. So now you're on top of the warp core. And why-oh, you're in engineering. And you probably would struggle to spot that from engineering. That is the passage there. So that's one little Easter egg. This one is a lot more obvious to spot because you can see it right there, and it is a quick way to get through the ship without having to go up the staircases, either down to Scotland Road or up to the upper deck. And this actually takes you to the plumbing for the pistons. This route is only accessible when one door is open. If both doors are closed, then this comes back to here and it is completely inaccessible, and it takes you through to the hangar area. So that's basically the entirety of my ship. I hope you enjoyed your guided tour. It does look a bit dirty, but it's not designed to look nice, it's designed to be functional, and functional it is, so long as you have enough uranium to keep the big thing running. So anyway, I do hope you have enjoyed this guided tour. I have enjoyed making it, although this is the second time around, and I do look forward to being able to show you, prepare for the frame rate drop. Yeah, these ships over there, which aren't even rendering from a distance. So this one is going to be the most obvious one to do first because it's nearly complete, and this one requires a lot more work. And hopefully in the future, Space Engineering can work on some kind of method for increasing the frame rate when you're around large ships. But anyway, I won't keep you any longer. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.